the march of time. Today in Europe, from the Baltic to the Mediterranean, 30 million men under arms are fighting or waiting to fight in a war which nearly all military experts agree is certain to become the most costly and disastrous in the history of mankind. With this Second World War still in its primary stages, almost the entire manpower of the Republic of France, 6 million men, is already spread out along its 6 frontiers, which face Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. For France cannot risk any attempt of the enemy to make a flank attack around the ends of her powerful Maginot Line. For months, observers have been watching Europe's conflict develop on land into a war of position, as the Allied High Command has been building up new defense strongholds to make any enemy offensive on the Western Front costly and ineffective, while organizing a reserve striking force powerful enough to check the Nazi-Soviet drive to conquer all Eastern Europe, from the Baltic to the Black Sea. On the seas, the Second World War has become a slow and deadly war of attrition, its most potent weapon the naval blockade. Guarding the Mediterranean and its approaches, vessels of the French Navy have seized hundreds of tons of contraband of war, food and raw materials carried by neutrals but destined for eventual transshipment to Germany. Once more, as in the last Great War, the Allies have set up an elaborate convoy system to keep open their vital waterways and the all-important supply line across the Atlantic to Canada and the United States. For while England is seeking to starve out its Nazi enemy by strangling its commerce, Germany is carrying on a counter-blockade, which day by day is taking its toll of the merchantmen and warcraft upon which Britain depends for its own food and war supplies. For the second time within the memory of most people now living, daily casualty lists have become a part of war's routine. And a conflict as yet scarcely begun in earnest has already become real and terrible. But as Europe's tragedy fills the minds of men everywhere, the recently retired Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Asiatic Fleet, Admiral Harry E. Yarnell, reminds U.S. citizens of another tragedy threatening equally grave consequences for the Western world.
With the war going on in Europe, many Americans have almost forgotten that there is a far more terrible war still raging in China. Japan's invasion of China has caused more death, destruction, and misery in 2 years than the entire First World War caused in 4. 40 million Chinese have been driven from their homes, and between 5 and 10 million of them have died of starvation and disease. There has never been anything like it in